morning. This is Craig Damon, the proud executive director of the Florida High School Athletic Association. And welcome to another segment of Coffee with Craig. Today I'm delighted to have with one of our athletic directors here with me today, Ms. Destiny Brightman from Orange Park High School. Destiny, welcome to the FHSA.
Thank you.
This morning we're going to talk a little bit about and let Destiny share about some of the things that are going on at Orange Park High School. But before we get to what's going on at Orange Park High School, Destiny, please share with the audience and give them a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I am Destiny Brightman. I am from Ohio, the Dayton area, but I'm currently a Floridian now. Moved here my 11th grade year, moved to the Panhandle, Niceville, Florida. Mm-hmm. So I had the pleasure of graduating from Niceville High School. And then I attended college at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, where I received my bachelor's and my master's degree in health and physical education. And so I am now in a role where I am the athletic director at Orange Park High School in Clay County. I served as an assistant athletic director for about 3 years up underneath a great mentor, John Stromolo. And so that path led me into being an athletic director today.
Good. So tell me about some of the things that you have going on at Orange Park High School. What makes Orange Park unique, the athletic department unique? I know Clay County and John did an excellent job as a county athletic director in Clay County, and some of the things that he brought forth, his creativity and his innovation to Clay County. So tell me what's unique about Orange Park High School.
I think that at Orange Park, we are a community where we're very family oriented, and it's not to say that other schools are not, but the biggest thing that I tried to do when I got there was just change the culture, make Orange Park the school where people wanted to be there, so we do different things, and I realized that just being in Clay County, I was seeing that not a lot of crowd support was there. And now, I have an athletic leadership council that is designed to support all sports. So it's a group of athletes from all sports. I have some band members all the way down to swim, every sport. And so they support each other from golf meets to swim meets to volleyball meets to football, in this fall that's going on. But we do a Raider Walk, which I think is great. It's where we get our cheerleaders, and it's on Fridays before our home football games. Okay. So the principal leads it, myself and the principal, and it's the band, the drum line of the band, our cheerleaders, our dancers, and then the football team, and we walk around the campus, and it is just a huge, morning pep rally to get everybody ready for Friday Night Lights. And I think that alone is something that's, unique, and has kind of gotten the school to buy in, and then they come and support us. And so, but I think that makes us, unique.
Cool. Shifting gears a little bit, I heard you say you were alumnus from FAMU.
I am.
Last week we had the opportunity and the privilege of revealing that we are hosting our football finals at FAMU this year. As an alumnus of FAMU, what does that mean? What does that mean to you?
I think it's super exciting. Years ago, I'm not sure if just graduating from an HBCU was like the spotlight. I don't think that people understood, that how elite it is to go to school. Florida A&M is one of the best HBCUs in the country, and so I am proud to let everybody else who hasn't been on campus be able to see our stadium and just what we as Rattlers do. Anybody that knows me, they know that I bleed orange and green. I'm a Rattler. And so I was just there last weekend. I played volleyball at Florida A&M. I'm not sure if I exposed that, but okay. So I'm an alumni there, and so they just inducted my former volleyball coach into the Hall of Fame. So I was able to go back, be around the volleyball team, just kind of talk with the coach, and I got to meet the new athletic director and the president. And so being able to expose Friday Night Lights on the high school level to what Florida A&M has to offer, there's a lot of different upgrades. I mean, that campus looks totally different from when I was on campus, from the dorms to the bookstore, all the different amenities that they have out there at the stadium. And so I'm proud that you all will be able to see the stadium and Florida A&M.
But we're super excited. We're putting together some things to help elevate this year's championship so that not only our student athletes but our fans have a memorable experience. So switching back to Orange Park, and telling me remember the conversation about John serving as your mentor and worked underneath him as an assistant athletic director before becoming athletic director. You know as well as I do, the turnover with the athletic directors in the state of Florida and across the country is great. What's some advice that you would have for someone either looking to get into becoming an athletic director or a new athletic director that's on the job and all of a sudden realizing that this job entails a whole lot more than what they thought it would entail?
It does. Again, I had the privilege to be an assistant. I think that hands-on experience is what helped me. I always, from the day that I stepped foot in Jacksonville, I originally came there to take a job at Orange Park High School. I was in 2007. I was a physical education teacher from 2007 at Orange Park High School until 2013. And when I walked in, because I had a master's degree, that was just one of the questions everyone wanted to know. Are you going to get into, being an assistant principal? I said, no, I want to be an athletic director. And so from that day, I knew that was my goal. And you don't see many female athletic directors, and so being able to have that hands-on, because even saying it, I had no idea the work that was put in it. And so I was able to get my feet wet. So my advice to anyone who is interested in this position is get up underneath someone and, day by day, see what those days look like. Because my Monday looks totally different than my Wednesdays, right? And my Friday, if we're hosting, events. But it's a lot of work. My other advice would be just that work-life balance, because before you know it, I can work 12 hours, in a day. And I think that it's important to have that work balance. And so I've been to, the FIAAA and the NIAAA conferences, and just being able to sit in those different sessions where they kind of tell you that you need a group of people around you that can help you. And so that's my other advice, get you a team of people. And so that has helped me a lot. I have people that aspire to A, want to help, and B, want to be an athletic director. So then they help where it's, because you could have an event 5 nights out of the week. And so it gets tiring. So you want to, create yourself a schedule to where there's certain days where I'm answering emails and phone calls and a lot of paperwork, and there's other days where I'm sweating because I'm out, hanging banners, and so it's just all about how you structure it. And sometimes you just got to walk away, and that work is still going to be there tomorrow, or you'll just be exhausted, and good work doesn't come out of exhaustion. And so I do think that just being able to get your hands wet and getting in there, it helps a lot to understand. It's a big job. It's a great job. I absolutely love it, but it is a big job.
And I think a lot of folks take for granted what an athletic director does on a day and just throughout the year and all of the responsibilities. When I moved over from just being a head coach to an athletic director, again, I thought it was easy too. As a head football coach, I was only responsible for football. And those 120, 130 kids that I was responsible for. When you move as an athletic director, now you have all the sports that you're responsible for, and you're responsible for all the kids. And now, all of a sudden, issues that are not your issues become your issues, and you have nothing to do with the issues. So it is a whole lot more challenging than a lot of folks think it is, and until you actually sit in that seat or step in those shoes, you don't realize what it entails. Anything else that you think you would like to share with, well, I asked this question. What's some things that the FHSA can do better? As an athletic director at one of our member schools, what's some things that if you were to say, hey, if you guys could do this better, or I like how you do this, but if you could improve that, what would you share with me as the executive director of the association?
Well, I think just personally, because I wish that we as a school and the FHSA could work better with, and I think that it would help both sides, with the ejections that come from athletes. we're just at a different time. Like, kids are just different, right? And so I think that culturally, like, yes, should we as a school be, held accountable and responsible, for these kids? And I think that on our end, we try to handle that. But I think, like, if we could work a little bit better, because sometimes, we'll get an email back and there's already the punishment that is, kind of sent there, and it just almost feels like if we could, that would be my only thing with the FHSA, if we could work prior to it being that standpoint. And I'm not condoning any type of bad behavior. I always tell them, don't speak to the officials. Sportsmanship is huge, but I think that between the schools and the FHSA, if we could work better in that area, I think it would help us both. I'm very pleased with the work that the FHSA does. I get frustrated if I do have an ejection, so I'm constantly like, nobody gets ejected. Like, I coach volleyball, like, we don't get ejections in volleyball. So football, and wrestling, like, everything's just totally different. And so I just kind of want to get behind the scenes with, like, because again, I don't feel like without an appeal, and those appeals take some time. It's time on both ends. What that looks like prior to that, punishment already being put out there, if we could kind of work together, because I think that I have a coach and, coaches that would rally behind, like, if we could handle that, any ejections, and hope that we don't have any issues.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because that's one of the things that was a priority for me as executive this year with our member schools, is trying to make, anytime we have an ejection or a violation, making it a partnership in providing the sanctions. So we need to do, I know we talked about in-house, is doing a better job of relaying the message to our schools that as soon as you have an ejection of a kid and you look at the situation when you send your AT6 in to tell what happened, also include what steps or what sanctions or penalties the school is going to impose. So now we're doing it together. And what I've shared with the athletics is, my philosophy is, again, let's make it a partnership. And if the school's going to suspend the kid for a day, maybe don't need to be a 2-game suspension because he's already been suspended from school a day. So we're trying to take on the attitude or philosophy that what's the least restrictions we can provide to change the behavior, so that behavior never happens again. So I'm glad that you feel that way, and that's definitely what we want to get out there. Has the message got out to all our schools yet? No, but we're heading in that direction, and by having this conversation here today that people will get a chance to see, is that when there's an ejection of a coach or a student athlete, we're wanting the school to be a part of that process and take some ownership with it too, so that we can sort of meet in the middle and to ensure that behavior doesn't happen again. That was a great point. You was right on target.
Thank you.
Folks might think that we talked about that ahead of time. but great. But again, if there's nothing else, I am so thrilled to have you here, for you to drive down here to Gainesville today, to be here in the office, to have this conversation. I've heard great things about you. I saw your interview, your podcast with Jake Von Shear, so that sort of motivated me to get you here on my show too as well. And again, I wish Orange Park Raiders the best of luck.
Thank you.
With everything you guys got going on. And at some point in time, I try to get out to see one of those Raider walks in the morning, those pregame walks on a Friday morning, just to see that, because as a former coach and former player, those are the type things when the whole school, embraces what's going on, whether it's football, whether it's band, chorus, or whatever, embrace the activities going to the school life, school atmosphere, school environment is so much better. So again, thank you, Desmond, for making the trip down. And that's it for today, and I look forward to our next episode of Coffee with Craig. Thank you all for tuning in.